What's up, everyone? This is BigPowner, and today I am here to fill you in on some tips for sextant farming. Because maybe some of you have reached the place where you are using sextants, and I want to start giving you some tips for stuff that I do and I look out for when I'm sextant farming. First of all, the more awakening level you have, is going to be more beneficial. The reason for this is not only the fact that we get a 24% multiplier to our quantity and our rarity, which is obviously making it more beneficial. The other reason is simply the sheer number of watch stones that we can roll on. Because obviously, if I have, the max 8 times 4, 32, I can roll 32 times without having to re-roll any of those, and then I can make the best possible combinations and then, the ones that are profitable, I can do those. And if I know what the best combinations are, I can set some of those watchstones off to the side so that I don't wind up wasting them. The money mod combination that I'm going to be showing you today has to do with strongboxes. So the base one, I'm going to go and put this in my inventory so you can see it better, is the area contains an extra strongbox. Strongboxes in the area are corrupt. Strongboxes in the area are at least rare rarity. 3 uses. In order to roll these for starters, and this is the way you have to think. It costs me 2 chaos because that's the value of the top tier sextants. They're valued at 2 chaos apiece. So let's say I had to buy my sextants. Since there's 3 uses, that means that every map is like, you know, 2, no, let's call it 3 chaos. It's not quite 3 chaos, it's just under 2.67, but let's call it 3 chaos. So 3 chaos a map is what I have invested in this. Is this going to give me something by itself? Yes, but obviously if we combine it with something, it's going to give us even more, because what is it that this does? This adds more quantity to the monsters. So we have 2 things that are going to be benefiting us. This makes it so that they're already rare, which is nice just for convenience, because I can just click on them. I don't have to bring alks, and I don't have to invest alks on each box, which that does become a factor because, if I use, every 2 alks is a chaos. So if I'm adding boxes to the map, that can essentially double my cost. But the reason why this mod is really actually good is because it gives us a chance to collect divine orbs. Which, what is it that we want to do? We want to have ways to get the mass majority of the things that we're using, because if we don't have to buy them, then, that is currency earned. If we're able to collect the things that we need and then use our currency for, say big item upgrades, or say investing in a super powerful weapon, that's going to make us reach our goals for large item upgrades a lot faster if we're being efficient in collecting the things that we need. Plus, there is the chance with farming this that you are going to have a big drop. And obviously, there's also going to just be, there could be a diviner's chest, and it could drop, something really good, or it could drop something mediocre. You still have all of the regular chances. The thing is that them being corrupt and rare, because if they were just corrupted, you could wind up with a gray box that's corrupted. That would be kind of a crappy mod. Um, but the thing is when items drop corrupted, they have a higher chance of being a 6 link, which, yes, like I've said, you could get really lucky and get the 40-50 exalt item. Most likely, that is not going to happen. What is going to happen if you start farming these is you're going to be getting 6 links that, kind of suck. So you're going to sell them. What is that? That's a divine orb. If we average 1 divine orb with a low investment, we're going to be making currency simply from that, which then our buffed up map is going to produce more currency anyways. So just the mechanic that we're focusing on is going to pay back our investment, and it's going to increase the earnings for the entire map. So this is going to be, a really good thing to farm. We are going to invest into this map, but we're going to use the stuff that we have. And if you are going to buy stuff, you're probably going to want to buy the cheap Scarabs. Why is this? So our investment's at 3 chaos per run. What is it that we're more than likely to get? A divine orb. Right now, a divine orb is 10 chaos. So if I go out and I buy gilded scarabs, it costs 10 chaos. What's going to happen? Now I got to get 2 6 links. Is the probability of that happening and me generating currency going to be as good now? No, because I've invested more. And the thing is what is the difference between a rusted ambush scarab and a gilded ambush scarab? This is what you have to really think about when you're buying a higher or lower tier of something. A gilded scarab adds 5 strong boxes. For a 1 chaos item, we're getting 3. So is 10 times the cost going to be worth 2 more strong boxes? Well, how many strong boxes do we have in the area? We're getting an extra strong box from this and an extra strong box from this. So we are going to have, with this combination, a minimum of 5 strong boxes. So those 2 extra strong boxes would only be a 40% increase, and for the whole cost of the map, we would be, well, technically about doubling, well, 2 times more, because it would raise the total cost to about 15 chaos per map, because we are going to be chiseling, alking, walling, and we all are also going to be using fragments, which these you're not going to sell these. I mean, honestly, we could say this has some small value, but realistically, I don't think anyone's going to be selling these. You're going to use them, and buying them is such a pain that they're not even worth buying. I've tried in the past, and I was just like, screw it, this ain't worth it. It's 5% quantity. Plus, they made it so that they drop a lot more. So, as long as you're rotating back and forth between your farming, you shouldn't run out of this as a resource. So, obviously we want to be replenishing our resources. This is going to give us a chance to get some divine orbs. It's also going to make our maps more profitable. But, there's obviously going to be a lot more mods on a map. What's another good one? Well, here's a good one that's actually going to stock us up with some of the stuff so that we can use on maps. This is a modifier that's really good. The thing is it's really good in my opinion on gilded, because gilded scarabs are worth a lot more. Why would I say that on the lower tier scarabs it's not really worthwhile? Because how much are these scarabs? They're like a chaos. There are, like the Sulfite Scarab, I think that's, a few chaos. Rusted Bestiaries 5, Rusted Legions 5. Let's see, are there any others? There's 3 Scarabs that are over 1 chaos. So, the thing that you have to understand is this is a hard mod to farm. Basically what you do is you're going to start the map, and you can't just start shooting or killing stuff, because pretty much every build has some kind of a chain, kill, AoE, or your build sucks for mapping. Plain and simple. And you should have a build for farming maps if your character does not do that, because your map clear speed is going to be terrible. So in order for this to work, the Tormented Betrayer has to attach to a rare enemy. So the way that you have to do this is you basically have to run past the enemies and not kill the rares, and trigger the Tormented Betrayer so that it will run and attach to a rare, and then you kill that rare and you get your gilded scarab. The way that this works is on the top tier sextant you will get gilded scarabs. On the middle one you will get polished. On the bottom one you will get rusted. Do I sometimes use the lowest tier sextant? Yes. If I get rusted scarabs, is it worthwhile for me to, take twice as much time to run the map? Because I basically have to run the map first to get the Tormented Betrayers to attach to a rare, and then I have to go back and kill them, which is a lot of, running forward, herding them on to rares, and then killing them. So, I mean, that for me is not really worth as much when, with the gilded ones, we've got, two scarabs that are over 20 chaos. We got the Legion that's 16.6. We got, um, well, even I guess there's some polished ones that aren't bad. We've got the polished bestiary scarab at 15 right now. Polished sulfite at 13. Um, the point is, gilded divination scarab 12. Gilded harbinger scarab 11. So we've got a lot larger profit margin. So taking a little bit more time on that map can be worthwhile. The other thing is we can use those. The ones that we're not going to be gaining that much, if we can sell them for a lot and we don't even have to use them, and we can still get pretty good gains using our cheap ones, are we probably going to do that? I'm probably not going to, because I just don't want to sell as much stuff. When I get, say like sulfite scarabs, because I don't use them, do I go out and sell those right away? Hell no. Why not? Because even if it's say it's a gilded sulfite scarab, if I take time to list them every single time I get one, that's a transaction, and a transaction is, I mean, even if the person jumps into your base right away, that's like taking a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And sometimes people are slow. Sometimes they sit there and just look at your trade like, "Durr, I mean, it says it is what it is, and that's the currency I said I'd pay for it, but I'm gonna sit here and look at it for 2 minutes." And that gets annoying. It doesn't happen every time. Sometimes trades are efficient, but let's say average it takes you a couple minutes to complete each trade. If I'm doing a ton of small trades, that's a lot of extra time that's taken um, out of my currency gaining, which with larger items it's worthwhile. If I'm selling an item for, more than I can gain in a map, obviously it's worthwhile for me to take the time to sell that item. But when it's something that's kind of on the lower end, it's probably better if I save up. There's another reason why saving up scarabs, if you're going to sell them, is a good idea. If you have a large quantity of scarabs, people like me don't want to, spend an hour buying one scarab at a time for the lowest price. So if someone has 20 of them, and, say those scarabs are normally 10 chaos a piece, and I have to pay one extra chaos or two extra chaos to buy 20 of them at once, I'm spending 20 extra chaos, 40 extra chaos, yes. But how much time am I saving? I do one trade, takes me 2 minutes. If I were to take and do 20 trades, that's 40 minutes. How many maps is that? I mean, at least eight. It is are Which is more valuable, 8 maps or 20 to 40 chaos? Obviously the 8 maps, because I'm making more than 20 to 40 chaos in 8 maps. Every time guaranteed I'm making more than that. So that would be a waste of time for me. So I'm willing to spend a little bit extra. Well, it's the exact same for people who are buying stuff. There's not very many people. And if you are the person that is buying, one at a time when you know you need a lot, you need to really think, is it really worth my time to spend half an hour or an hour buying these one at a time, or is it better off for me to play a slightly more and get a bunch of them and then be able to actually start playing and generating currency? You got to ask yourself that. Obviously, if it's some crazy markup, then maybe not. Maybe it's worthwhile to do more trades. But you kind of have to use your own thought for your own scenarios, because this can apply to a lot of different things. Anyways, on this map, I'm going to talk about the mods for these two mods so that you know how to do them. For this, we need Tormented Betrayers, so we are going to have to use the Torment Scarab. Torment Scarabs are notoriously cheap, so this is one of the, yeah, Gilded Torment Scarab is 2 chaos. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna buy some of those. Normally they're like 10 chaos, um, all of you guys see this and you start farming this, it's probably going to go up. I mean, even with 100 people starting to buy them, they're probably going to go up some. The reason why they're not getting bought is because I don't think like anyone does this farming. Every season, those scarabs are dirt cheap, and I make a shit ton of currency. Scarabs are not worth as much as they usually are. Usually we have scarabs in the 40, 50, 60 range, and I can make an exalt to 3 exalts. This was last season in, a map. Which was obviously like really, really good currency. You can't make that much this season, but I would still say that it is pretty worthwhile doing if you can practice it and do it. For our strongbox farming, the combination that the other thing with this, once you've added your tormented betrayers, the trick that I like to use for farming the tormented betrayers for the gilded scarabs, there's a couple things you want to do. First of all, you need to put in your torment scarab because that's going to add a bunch more of the tormented betrayers, which gives you more chances to get your gilded scarabs. The other thing is it requires a rare monster to attach to them in order for you to collect on said scarab. If there isn't something for them to connect to, you just miss out on that gilded scarab. So we want to increase our chances for this to the absolute max. The way that we do that is, first of all, we are going to use Nemesis. Why is it that we use Nemesis? Because it adds 5 packs. Bloodlines only adds 3. This is spawns from stuff you kill. Nemesis is going to be your best choice as a Xana map modifier. Because it adds 5 more packs. That's 5 more chances for those tormented spirits to actually attach. The other thing that I always do every single time is I use my master Einhar. Why is it that I do that? The reason why I do that is because it adds a ton of rare monsters, the tormented spirits, and it's something extra. Like, I don't have to add any cost. This is something I can farm for free. So every single time you do this, use Einhar as your master and use Nemesis. If you don't have Nemesis, then use Bloodlines. It's 3 packs. It's still better than having nothing. But it's really worth it to use Nemesis. 5 more chances to collect on those Scarabs, which, yes, you're making a small investment. What is the investment? 2 chaos if you use the Gilded Scarab and buy them at current market prices. Obviously, those go way up. You got to reevaluate. I can't predict the future, how many people are going to start farming this, if people are going to start farming this. So right now they are 2 chaos. That is 100% you should be using Gilded. Nemesis is 4. This puts us at 6 chaos into the map. What does this mean? I can literally get, and we have 3 chaos per map, so let's call it 9 chaos. Let's just call it 10 chaos. The thing is you don't even have to buff this map up. The only thing that we're not worried about quantity or rarity. So even if you're not strong enough to do Vald high quantity maps, this is something you can always farm because you can go with an easy map as long as you add the rare monsters, the tormented spirits, and you have that modifier. Basically, if I get even half of my let's say I only get 3 scarabs, the cheapest gilded scarab is the tormented one, which I can tell you this, it ain't gonna drop 3 times. But what happens if it does drop 3 times in the first map? I now don't have to buy gilded tormented scarabs. That is the cheapest gilded tormented scarab. What's the next one up? We have Piranda Scarab. If I got 3 of those, I made currency because that's 12. Am I most likely going to get only the 2 worst ones? No. What are the lowest ones after that? We have a couple at 6 chaos. Then it goes up to 8 chaos with 1, 9 chaos with 1, and then it starts jumping. We're at 10 chaos, 12 chaos, 16, 22, 25. If one of those top tier ones drop on one map and the rest of them are the lowest ones, we've made currency doing this. And if you manage to get all of them to drop, even if you got 100% the worst ones, that's 14 chaos, which that ain't gonna happen. And honestly, like if that happened to me once, I'd be like, sweet, I ain't gotta buy tormented scarabs for the next 2 times that I do this, which is pretty sweet. And the cool thing is, if you buy a starting amount of those tormented scarabs and you're good at farming it, you're gonna have those scarabs to do it, so you're not gonna have to take the time to buy them next time. So, ambush. We'll go back to ambush now that is clearly told how to do. This is pretty simple. Gonna add the ambush scarabs. Gonna add extra quantity because we are relying on drops and rarity. These are maps you want to go super high if you can. I got a 135. That's a really good one. This one's pretty good. If it was lower than that, I'd probably go with something else. This one's really high too. The way that you can tell how high an un-ID'd map is when you make it, whatever the number was before, add 20% quantity. This one's like 120 something. I don't remember the exact number. So that's a pretty good map. And then with the added bonuses, you know, an extra 15%, it's going to be 140 plus the 26. It's going to be like 170 quantity. This one's going to be over 200% because we've got 150% plus 24%. That's going to be a really good one. Anyways, don't want to make this too long. Covered two things. I will cover more in the future, but we're not going to do them all at once. Thanks for watching. Peace.